Thank you. Time back on.
That's rough.
Captain's Round, episode 9. I honestly thought that it was going to be a 4 or 5 episode thing.
Yeah, that's probably a fair assessment.
I didn't think, especially when I had Jake Lever up second, and I felt bored in my second episode.
Yeah, it tanked pretty hard.
I didn't think this was going to grow legs, but it has.
And here we are, 9 episodes in.
Captain's Round of Angus Brayshaw.
Yes.
I forgot to mention.
Legally, we have to state that. Thanks for having me, Max.
Sponsored by our great people in Zurich.
And the Ed Langdon Tea Company.
And Arnott Shapes.
Yeah, so we got a few there. We got to tick them off.
We're fresh off returning off a red-eye flight back from Alice Springs. I got to bed at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Because I had to do a sneaky little ice on the knee.
Yeah.
But I think we got home at around 3, did we?
Yeah, 3:30 I got into my room.
Yeah.
And yeah, for those who don't know, we left it around, I would say, 8 in the morning maybe.
Yeah.
So
We were genuinely in Alice Springs for no more than 12 hours.
Yeah.
In fact, 12 hours is probably a stretch.
You're stretching it there. So, but no, it was good. I would say it was a good day trip, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we got the win.
We'll go with that off the top. We'll
go with St Kilda off the top. We started really well. I think at quarter time we may have had a 3 or 4 goal lead. This is not us breaking down the game into real fine-tooth comb here, but
splitting the atom.
We're splitting the atom, but I think the first quarter we got off to a really good start.
Yep. I thought so too. They're a good team though. So
they're a good team. They came back in, and then we were able to hold our nerve late with some extremely good performances from a couple of players, including our 2 big defenders, and about time they're on 2-0 together. So
yeah, exactly. Steve May, well overdue. I've got him and Jake Lever. I've got next to him as well in my little book.
Your little book, it is little.
Yeah. So what do we? I'll go on a little tangent. I got some feedback last week about not having a book, and I've gone and bought an A4 page book, and Maxie's only got A3. So clearly that means I'm more prepared. And I've got Jake Lever next to Steve May. So I thought they were terrific, both of them, especially late. Like there was a bombardment late. I don't know the numbers. Someone said we had like 20% of the ball in the last quarter.
Yep.
The 2 of them stood up tall. About time too.
Your word to line ratio isn't great though, so you're taking the piss in that book.
Yeah, but I feel like with a bigger book, you're just better prepared for everything. So I've got a little space down here for some extra stuff that you spoke about. And if I threw up a suggestion that you potentially wanted to write down now, where would you write it down?
I'd have to go to the next page.
Exactly. So I think I'm probably a bit more prepared, and that's all right. It's your podcast.
It took you 9 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, it did, but I'm here now. And
anyway,
going back to the game.
St Kilda. Yes,
Kilda.
They came back last quarter. Good performances from a couple of good defenders.
Yeah. Track's goal was pretty good as well.
Track's goal. He was very angry he didn't get paid the mark. We all went up to him and started celebrating, calling him whatever, like beast mode or
CP5.
Yeah, he likes it when we say, Petraka, you are good.
Yeah,
like,
you're the best player ever. He likes a lot of that.
And all we could talk about was not being paid the mark. I'm like, you just almost get goal of the year.
Sort of takes the wind out of it a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really took the wind out of ourselves, which you're actually really good with that. You just said to him, oh, mate, focus on the next play.
Yeah, he was pretty happy with it. And then you just got to bring him back. And to his credit, he sharpened straight back up and had a really good game. I thought as well that your knee held up well.
Yeah, it did. So
went the whole game.
Me personally played well, or then just the knee?
The knee held up.
The knee was good.
That was a little segue into how you played. I mean, I think as a reflection, it was funny. We had a meeting just before, and Track said,
I didn't find it funny.
Yeah, well, I know. You got real defensive. So for those who don't know, we were talking about the centre bounce, and they won the centre bounce.
Well, for those that don't know, I'm sure majority of people didn't know what we were talking about.
So we were talking about the centre bounce, and it came to people's attention that we lost the centre bounce 11-2, and our coach Benny Matthews threw it to the group. Why do we think that was? And Track was probably feeling pretty good about where he's at the moment, had a bit of confidence, and said it's probably because they've got the better ruckman. And then you went straight on the defensive, went pretty hard at him.
Well, I didn't bring out all 3 of my jackets, but I definitely mentioned one of them.
Okay. And so your knee, fine.
Knee's fine. I had no swelling after the game. Next day, didn't do anything, a little bit of ice in, and then I was able to do the flush run yesterday, which
was the worst flush run ever.
So, can we get to why it was the worst flush run? Because you got mark of the year on you.
Yep.
So there was 2 instances of people going back with the flight, which we find this quite funny.
This is something that we did have spoken about.
So Mitch Brown went back with the flight, and he got mentioned after the game about how good that effort was. It was tough because he spoiled it. There was no mark.
Ball went to ground.
You went back with the flight. for the 50th time in your career, constantly go back with a flight. But you went back with a flight and Dan Butler took Mark of the Year
Just
on
happens
you.
to take a hanger on me.
And it does not get mentioned. So it's not that tough if you don't create the spoil.
I think that's what we concluded. Unless the ball hits the ground, you're not tough. And
But what's happened since then?
yeah, so along with Mark of the Year, I got a real bad whiplash because he was flying. He was moving at pace.
Yep.
And then I've got a bit of a sore neck, and then I'm walking off the flush run track yesterday, and I think we've now found out it was Trent Rivers has launched a ball and he's a long kick actually as well.
Yeah.
Probably. And he's launched a ball and it's hit me in the back of the neck as I'm walking off, so I'm real stiff on my left side today. But that's nothing to worry about. I haven't torn anything. It's just stiff.
You've been walking around with a heat pack.
I've been walking around with a heat pack on now. The people actually know. The people won't be able to see.
Well, they'll be able to see how poorly you're moving right now when you're trying to turn around.
Yeah, so I've been looking after that. But outside of that, everything's good, it seems like, from your end.
And it wasn't that good of a mark. It was a good mark, but it wasn't
You
Mark
didn't
of the
get
Year.
that high off the
I'm
ground.
talking it up a little bit.
Exactly. I got to ask that question as well after the game in an interview, and I didn't even know he took the mark, so it can't have been that good.
Lucky, I mean, we're a long way past. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention the C word concussion, just to make sure.
Jeez, you're bringing that up. Where's that on the run sheet?
But I'm not sure if I'm not allowed to mention that, but it's good to see you can get through an instance like that and just bounce straight back up.
Straight back up and finish the game well. Was running it out and was there when the whips were cracking at the end. So
Correct.
Nothing to worry about.
So you got a post-match. Who with?
ABC, Brendan Goddard, Chris Johnson.
Name the third.
Old mate.
I also had a post-match.
With who?
Abby Holmes on the ground.
Uh-huh.
And she asked me...
That's a bit of a gimme. You didn't earn that, did you?
No, she asked me how important the win was. And
pretty important.
so I said pretty important. And then I gave a little shout-out to those Victorians that are back at home watching, hoping that we brought a smile to their face. But what I tactically did, which I didn't think I was going to do going into the interview, but I mentioned my wife.
Okay. In what context? Like,
I mentioned her to say that she's doing it tough and I'm proud of her and I hope she's going okay.
That's brownie points, isn't it?
And it was tactical because the end of the season is fast approaching.
Yeah.
And what you need from your partner,
half.
your better half, your wife,
By a long way with Jess as well, mind you.
is you need a bit of a leniency over a week or two because you just want to let your hair down for a little bit.
You give them 51 good weeks of the year.
Yeah.
The least they can do.
So what I've done is just to make sure that I'm thinking about her. I'll maybe send some flowers over the next few weeks. Hopefully, doesn't listen to the podcast to work out what I'm doing.
Yeah,
but this is for leniency over that week or two, which hopefully is still 7 weeks away, 8 weeks away.
Yeah.
And if I win a flag, I don't need to convince Jess.
Exactly,
to
there'll
let
be
my
no
hair
convincing
down.
there.
Her hair will be let down.
Yeah, it'll be communal hair.
Hair down.
Yeah.
So I thought that was very, very smart. And if I get a post match
again,
again,
that's unlike you because you're not usually a tactician.
no. And rarely go into interviews with plans like
Yeah,
that.
you just got hyperbole everywhere, and that's your one wood.
All right, that's enough footy.
Yeah, I reckon we've done well there.
What I do want to talk about is I like to involve the fans in what's going on in the hub.
Yeah, sure.
And
Bit going on.
there's a bit going on.
Yeah.
Less wildlife, which is good.
Yeah, has definitely been a decrease in the wildlife sort of.
Yep. I
sightings.
feel like with the snake, the infamous snake.
There is still a few of those.
Well, his name was
floating
Brian.
Brian.
Yeah.
They've named the snake.
They've named the
it's like
snake. So we got a
resident
ranger
snake.
to come get the snake. And the ranger walks in and he
Brian.
goes, "Oh, that's just Brian."
Ah.
I'm like, "Geez, lucky it wasn't Tom. Would have been cooked if it was Tom, wouldn't we?" It was just Brian. But the snakes are gone. But what isn't gone is thieves.
Okay, let's talk about that. First of all, the plural of thief is thieves.
Yep,
So
and what
we'll
have I
work straight.
said?
You said thieves.
Yep.
So we'll work past that. But yeah, there has been theft
Yep.
plenty.
Yep.
And half of it, sometimes you get mixed up. Like you take the wrong room key, that's not necessarily theft. You've just
How many
made a little
thefts?
blunder. We've definitely got one bicycle,
Yep.
Cade Chandler, gone. And you just alerted me to, because I pick it, boogie board, gone.
Gone.
And
So
they're not, that's not an innocent mistake.
there's been a new addition to the hub. And there's a late night security guard now, which there hasn't
Has there
been.
really been?
There's a
I didn't
guy
know
at the
that.
gate post 7 p.m. now.
It's true.
So everyone, and I think this is in relation to the bike and the boogie board.
Yeah, okay.
But what I think we have an avenue to be able to explore for the boys
yeah.
where their bike and boogie board's gone.
Yeah, this is a tool. We've got a tool here. And an anti-theft tool.
Yep.
I think we can definitely fire up the old investigative.
I've got some suspects
powers.
early.
Yeah, okay. Some likely types.
Some likely types. I'd like to know if we do have some Twin Waters, local Sunshine Coast listeners, and they've heard of some stuff being taken in the area.
Yeah, sure.
Please contact us, but it's going to be hard to not think it's Lyndon Dunn.
Do we have a...
And that's my early suspect.
Do we have a podcast number that they can, like a tip line, they can call in?
Well,
I'll give you Maxi Gawn's number, 04.
So that's one thing we're going to have to do over the next week or so
Yep.
is...
That could be a segment, like an investigation segment. We
So
can-
everyone's now putting their stuff inside their room and making sure it doesn't get out.
I've got a top floor room, so it hasn't really been a problem for me. Having said that, I don't have anything that sits out on my balcony particularly.
Must be nice on the top floor.
Must be nice. Speaking of things that must be nice, we're currently doing the podcast on the lake. We're staying like on a, what would you call this? Like
Whose
a
room's
lake
this?
house. Gary Pert.
This is Gary Pert's room.
It's Gary Pert's room. Must be nice.
That is phenomenal.
You get a photo.
I would have thought this was a family of 10's room.
Yeah, it's pretty big. I mean, he's got a deck with 5 chairs out there. He's got open plan living, big bathroom, wonderful windows, great views. It must be nice.
This is unbelievable.
So we'll sort that out. Purdy.
I feel like your hub can be really dictated by what room you get given.
Room is in. This
So
is a bigger room.
Purdy's going to have a great hub.
Yeah,
because
sure.
look at it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, you can't not have a great time there.
When I got given my Manly room, I was facing a rubbish truck disposal.
Yeah, I understand where this is going, and I
Would you call that a waste management centre or
Yeah, it
a
was
rubbish truck
it was-
disposal?
I'll take your pick. I wasn't going to pull you
They're
up on
not
that.
binning rubbish trucks. So we've got to be careful there. But I was facing that. Lots of noise at 5 a.m. in the morning, no view. And then I come into this room and I say, geez, Purdy's probably had one of the best hubs ever.
Yeah, Purdy's living the dream. I think Adelaide. See, the thing with Adelaide was I didn't have a great view in Adelaide, but I had a really good room.
Yeah.
So there's definitely
take that.
concessions both sides of the coin. I also think it's worth considering who you get put next to.
Yeah.
Alphabetically, I'm next to Mitch Brown, who's just an
Stand up.
absolute delight.
We call him the Duck.
The Duck.
We
call
want
him
that
the Duck.
nickname to get out.
Start calling him the Duck.
So start calling him the Duck. The reason is in an intra-club, he let up about 76 times on Jake Lever and he looked like the Duck.
Yeah, we did see that, and it was me that was hitting him up, so I'll take partial credit for that. I think-
On-field Duck. He's a very on-field Duck.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Plenty of that. So I think a lot to be said for who you're next to in the room.
Yeah.
And I guess that's probably just about it in terms of who sorts your hub out. I mean,
I got an Alice Springs room on the weekend, and if I had been given that for more than 1 hour, so we got given a hotel key for 1 hour for the Alice Springs game, to have a nap. And if I had have been given that for more than 3 days, I would have gone crazy.
what was wrong with that?
TV wasn't working. There wasn't a
Okay.
remote. There was lumps in the bed, and the shower was when I turned it. When I got it to its highest level, it was probably at my belly button.
Yeah, okay. So that's a bad hub.
That's a bad hub.
We've got it pretty good here.
Yeah. And
So,
there was
I mean-
and there was at the casino, Alice Springs. We weren't allowed in the casino though,
Yeah, we definitely didn't go to the casino. That was not allowed.
which is good. A couple more things we got to touch on.
Ed Langdon, we got no new Ed Langdon stories this week in terms of things that he's done. You have got
I've got one that I think maybe.
it's
we'll-
like it's yeah.
Do you want to go to the segment?
I think it's less of the segment because it's not him being like a upper class snob. It's more him. I guess it's probably
Nah, it's a little bit.
It is a little
All
bit,
right,
that, isn't it?
let's go to the
Alright.
segment.
It's Eddie Langdon's.
Yeah, segment. So-
I saw this. But
So,
you've got a
yeah.
real strong opinion.
He paints this picture that he doesn't care about football.
He does.
Which he does, and
paints that
anyone who's watched Melbourne play the last 5 weeks, his will to win is incredible,
Yeah,
and
we
he's
love
getting us over the line. I'm loving what he's bringing on the field, which could be a strong correlation to him getting potted on the podcast.
Yeah, we love Lingers. I think he's great.
But he loves to we're playing Essendon this week, and he'll be like, I don't know who I'm playing on.
Yeah.
Who's their winger?
100%.
I'm like,
Who-
Dyson
who's their
Hepple. He's like,
winger?
who's that? Like, he just plays this cool card.
Yeah. Too cool for school.
Too cool for school. But on the flight to the game, St Kilda one side of the plane,
Yeah.
Melbourne the other side of the plane.
Yes.
And not many people were talking. Like, Dean Kent said hi to a couple of people and then sat down. Like, we're about to go to war with this
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
And you don't really want to talk and have small chat with your opponent. Like, me and Paddy Ryder didn't even look at each other.
I sat next to Keg. I was across the aisle and I said
Yeah.
g'day and
Yeah.
how you going?
Yeah.
How's Miles? How's Elle and all that? And then that was it.
So for the whole 3-hour flight,
Mm-hmm.
Ed Langdon was standing up in the middle of the aisle to make sure everyone could see him talking to Brad Hill. Yes, they played at Fremantle. We have got that. Everyone knows we got Langdon from Fremantle. He doesn't need to show the whole plane.
Lingers.
But then the next day, he's painting this picture like, oh, did we even win last night? I don't remember the score.
That sickens me. That sickens me. And I'm glad we had the segment because this is exactly what the whole segment's about. Who he truly is the bloke that said, oh, that's Brad Hill.
He goes, well done, Brad. You got 18 contested possessions last week. Like, he knows that truly deep down.
Brad, and, how we're playing against each other. You're going to be on the fat side. And he's crunching numbers. That's who he really is.
Yep.
And then he presents this whole, I'm too cool for school and all this stuff. And I'm glad you brought this
I'm
up.
glad we did the segment.
That is a goddamn joke.
Yep.
Of the 3-hour flight, you reckon it was an hour and a half, 2 hours?
Easily. Seatbelt sign. Like, I think the flight attendant had to tell him to sit down when the seatbelt sign came on. And then he played really well, so he can talk to whoever he wants. But we're staying in the same hotel in Cairns as Fremantle. And that worries me.
Wow. Okay.
That worries me. And Sydney.
Wow.
I'm sure there's a Fremantle player at Sydney that he actually, probably not even a Fremantle player. He's probably friends with them all.
He probably is. We definitely have a undercover operative for the Fremantle Dockers, my brother, who can definitely.
You have a brother that plays AFL.
I've got a brother who plays AFL.
Yes,
and he'll definitely be able to get some dirt on Lingers for us. So we'll watch this space. But I'm glad you brought that up. And Lingers, you need to really sort yourself out, mate, because that's no good.
Hopefully, not stealing this off Benny Gibson, who is fast approaching. But we are going to stay in Cairns for 4 nights, so we don't fly back.
Played 2 games.
We played 2 games, including a day of the game flight on the first day, and lots of travel involved. We had bus to Brisbane, flight to Cairns, which is 2 hours, and we get there a couple of hours before the game, which is going to be new. But the world of the year of 2020 really is throwing some curveballs at us, and we're taking them in our stride. I was going to say sleeve.
No, I got you. Don't worry. I can tell when you're struggling.
Why was I going to say sleeve?
My vocabulary sense is fired up.
About time. Why haven't you pulled that out in the last 8 episodes?
You said that to me last week, and I made sure that was on this week. So that's the first segment done. We'll go to a break, and we'll come back after this with some Gibson.
Sounds good.
Thanks to our co-principal partner and podcast sponsor, Zurich Insurance. For over 100 years, they've been insuring the people and things you truly love. And just like you, they truly love footy and they truly love the D's.
Okay, the segment has arrived that we're most nervous about. We're hoping it provides some good, especially to a lot of people in Victoria that do listen to the podcast need some good in their life. So hopefully this segment in the podcast delivers.
Hit or miss. We usually hit. He's been good. We are nervous. We've got him in studio. We're excited to hear what he's got to say.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
It's Benny Gibson.
He's got the news.
He's got the news.
I feel like this is something that people back in Victoria really look forward to every week, so it is good to be back. It's good that you haven't broken any news so far. We had a bit of a debacle last week when you dropped Josh Wagner 2 days out from selection, and we had to hold the podcast for those 2 days.
I had so many people asking me, when's it dropping? I've been waiting all day.
That's why you leave the news to the pros.
Yeah.
So first up, we've got a little bit of injury news. Michael Hibberd rolled his ankle in the third quarter, courageously came back onto the ground, laid a really important tackle late. So that was a good effort.
Quote unquote, when I ran past him, I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "I think I've broken my leg." And he's rolled his ankle.
Scans showed there was actually no damage. So,
so he didn't break his leg?
He is okay.
I almost waved the stretcher on.
Yeah. I did see you do that. So that's interesting. Michael Hibberd's okay. That's all right.
I'm not sure if he'll play off a 5-day break. We'll find that out at selection, but you could probably give him a rest after the rolled ankle.
You're right.
There's a few blokes that are pushing their hand for selection. Alex Neil-Bullen is one. He's available after a 4-week suspension from that sling tackle. You guys probably can't comment on it. I thought it was severe, 4 weeks. He's a chance. Fritter.
I haven't heard the phrase pushing their hand.
Yeah, I'm not sure I know what that one is either. That's all right. It's not our segment. We don't want to step on anyone's toes, so let him
let me do my job.
Pushing hands.
Fritter. So is
he pushing his hand as well?
He's pushing his hand.
Has he checked his calendar this week?
Well, that was the news last week. That came out after the podcast that he did miss training. The bit I wasn't sure about is because you take minibuses to training. So who didn't realise that he was not on there?
He was in between groups.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It wasn't the midfielders.
No, definitely. We are absolved of any responsibility for this one.
Yeah, we know we haven't changed our group all year, so we generally know who's in our group. But
so he was coming. He's a forward. Obviously.
He was going from a tall forward to a small forward this week.
2 different buses for tall and small forward. So he's in the tall forward bus.
Tommy Mack and Sam Wiedemann. That's a great bus.
So that's where the confusion came. Yep. He missed training, missed the game, but he should be back.
Played really well.
Yeah,
and brought into what he was doing down there. Wasn't in a bad mood, wasn't grumpy. Played a really good high-spirited game.
Yeah, that was really impressive to see.
So he should slot straight back in. As far as last game goes, Track got 8 coaches' votes, which pushes him to second on the leaderboard. He's 13 votes behind Lockie Neal, but plenty of games to go. He's a chance to catch him, so I'm sure he'd be happy with that.
Yeah,
he would be.
I did mention it to the umpire on the weekend that I think Petrarca gets the 3. But looking back, Clary and Steve were pretty good as well.
Is that how you get your votes? By just asking the umpires?
I don't ask them directly, but I make sure they're having a good day.
Okay.
How was your week?
And you still came 4th.
Yeah, I know. I didn't wear a helmet.
Yeah, I guess my footy did more than the talking.
Like when you play cricket, you're batting, you just always talk about the weather. You want to get on the umpires. Good side.
I don't get that analogy at all.
Yeah,
that's a cricket one. Up the non-strikers end. Just having a chat with the umpire.
Exactly right. Gus is all over it. Another one on Track. You mentioned his goal.
Oh, yeah, we did.
That got nominated for goal of the year. Not sure if it's going to get over the line. But
is that a pun? Over the line pun?
I am getting to that.
That is very good from him.
Score review caused some controversy. Yeah. There wasn't goal line cameras. Yeah. That's apparently going to cost the AFL $100,000 to have goal line cameras, and they're bringing them in for the games in Cairns. What are your thoughts on the goal review system? Do you like it? Are you all in? Any opinion?
I'm neither here nor there.
I think it's consistency is the key, and if they're consistent with it, then I don't care what they do. But I think what annoys people is when there's inconsistencies with decisions and outcomes that decide games and stuff. So I think, it doesn't bother me as long as they're consistent with it.
Would you not prefer to have the review there so that for 50% of the time they can make the right call, and the other 50% they just let the umpire do their job rather than losing the 50% of overturns?
I think the technology is good, like in theory, but if I don't know if the last however long it's been, but they still don't have it. They haven't got it right. So
you started dropping numbers, and
it's a money industry. Speaking of money, I wanted to bring up this one from Gus. He's started a raffle around the club.
Yes, I have.
I haven't paid yet.
No, you haven't?
Well, this is the issue I was going to get to.
Go on.
In the email, it said cash only.
Yeah.
Not many people carry cash these days.
Yeah, but it's not. We've got cars, and we've got. I mean, there's $20 hanging in my pocket now. Someone's actually got off their backside and gone. It's called an ATM, Benny Gibson. Right. So there's a few of those floating around.
Not many. Always has money.
Not many ATMs in the hub, and we're not allowed to leave. So
I mean, there's one at Coles, which is an essential trip, and I would have thought that this reverse raffle it's actually a pretty good idea. Everyone puts in $10, and last name drawn out wins.
So how many people were we on the hub?
About 100. So
how many have paid?
It also got sent out to everyone, not in the hub.
Bad.
So we've got about a 50% uptake, which is pretty good.
When's due?
Well, Wednesday's the first name drawn out of the hat, so I'm going to try and shake some tins out the front of the dinner room tonight and get a few more $10 bills in. But
and how much of a whack are you taking?
Well, I've actually considered this because I can't really win, can I?
No.
I can't win my own raffle, so
you need some sort of commission.
I probably do.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's hard work. It's hard work.
Tough. You're only 48 on John Ralph's 50 rich list.
I know. We've got to sort that out, Ralphie. Where are you, Ralphie? But no, it's going to be good fun. I hope everyone gets their money in soon, because when the first name's drawn and you're out, you're going to miss it. So, what is that news?
Well, I'll give an update next week once it starts.
Yeah, okay.
If we're still in.
Yeah.
That's all the news I've got. Who have you got up next on your?
That was mediocre.
We had lots of suggestions for which past player to take.
Mm-hmm.
We sort of indicated which one we were going to take last week. But these are some of the suggestions we got off Instagram.
So this is our social media firing right up.
Yep. So we got Cale Morden,
yep.
Mark Jamar, David Neitz, Adam Uze, Aaron Davey, Brett Maloney, Liam Jarrah, not sure if he has a phone, James Frawley, Bernie Vince, Jesse Hogan, be very interesting.
Hogs. That's a tough one.
I'm sure that's not Oscar or Tom McDonald. That could be James McDonald, O'Dwyer, Jakovic, Gary Lyon, Travis Johnson, Clint Bartram, and Disco Carroll.
Disco, that's a long list.
That's a long list, and a lot of them are big names, and I'm not a real big name person. I think we've been getting your Mackenzies, your Pedersons, your Garlands. Tom Bugg, big name in the industry, but
yeah, I'm excited for that chat. That'll be a good chat.
Yeah, so looking forward to Tom Bugg. Also, worth noting a couple of other people that have contacted us via Instagram. James Smith sent in a photo of me and him at 7 nightclub when I was 18.
Jeez.
We'll put that photo up.
That's some of your best work.
Richard Kotrocki, what a name.
Yeah.
Reckons you're playing good football because in the calendar you are Mr. August. Talia Hartskeen has...
Skiing, as in the Melbourne supporter likes skiing. Yeah.
She's asked me a Wentworth question, which I really like. Ali Novak, no, she's not good enough to be top dog. I do agree. And her Pommy housemate's great Barbie Onions. And said apparently that's a horrible idea.
What'd she say?
Great. Like,
Oh, that's disgusting.
Disgusting. So keep giving us your Instagrams, your DMs. We'll
We
read
need
out
to
a
fire that
few.
up.
We need some good content.
So mediocre news there
Yep.
from Gibson. But don't fear, listeners. We've actually fired up here, and we've got an absolute superstar in for our past players. One of our favourite segments.
Yep.
And one of our favourite people we've got on here. 3-club player, very rare.
Yep. Did he play a game? Anyway, keep
He's
going.
been on 3 lists,
Yeah,
3 list player.
Yeah.
I don't know how many games for each, but I'm going to say most was for Melbourne.
Oh, I reckon he could be wrong there, but let's ask
We
him.
can ask him.
Yep.
No, he definitely did his best work at the D's.
Best work at the
Thinks of
Ds.
Some iconic photos, like
Yeah.
running in the open goal with the salute to the crowd.
Yeah.
One of the good men in football. That's Tomas Bugg. Tom, have you got us?
Justy, I do. Thank you for the warm introduction.
Thanks for having
Actually-
us. Just clear us up. It was who most games for Melbourne or GWS?
It was for the Giants, actually, Gusty. I
Right.
think I played about 65 for the Giants. And then whatever that's left over, I finished on 96. So
Oh, that's not bad.
just missed the ton, but the rest for
Is that
Melbourne. But
is that all you played for Melbourne? You made an incredible impact for just
Yeah, I was
30
about
odd
to say.
games.
I know sometimes I think I made more of an impact off the field sometimes.
You were
than,
up on
the field.
you were up on Hosier Lane, weren't you?
I was very prolific, Maxie. There was a big painting on Hosier Lane from artist. I think it was Lush Stuck. So yeah, it's cool. I had some great experiences in Melbourne. Got to meet you two that I was very close with at the club, and just overall, just a great club in general.
Yeah.
So it's been how long since you were last on the list?
Have you done any research
No, I'm just
for this caller?
I'm trying to have a conversation. So what's
Gusty, I love the rawness of this is what podcasts are meant to be like.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
You don't need Gorney. Gorney makes a habit of potting blokes just out of nowhere, so excuse him. It's been how long since you've been at Carlton's list?
from memory, I finished at the end of Jan, start of Feb at Carlton of 2019. So
Yep.
nearly a year and a half now I've been away, but it feels a lot longer. It honestly feels like I haven't played for like 5 years.
Yeah, and what
But
have you
still
been?
okay.
What have you been doing in the meantime? Because you've been very busy. For those who don't know, Tom Bugg's been up to a lot.
Yeah, been super busy, Gusty. I think, it was pretty well documented when I left. I retired to enter my business vision, which was Zuz Group, an influence agency, sorry. And it's going really well for us, super busy. We work with over 250 or roughly 250 talent
Wow.
worldwide now. We're based in, Beverly Hills and in LA. That's our global office or international office. And then we've got, one in Melbourne as well and staff all over Australia. So for me, Gusty, I've been super, super busy, but, still keep a really keen focus on footy and love watching you boys play too.
Have you got any part-time work available?
I couldn't have, when I look back, I couldn't have timed it any better, I guess. But Max, if you can look at that, mate, if you're always welcome to come and work.
I do love Beverly Hills.
I guess you've been super busy because it's all now that it's all online, like the human interaction stuff with the COVID's right down, but people would be on their phones and on the social media stuff more and more these days, I guess. Would that be accurate?
That's very accurate, Gusty. Yeah, there's increase in, users actually being on platforms, which is where we advertise. Also an increase in, kind of that old style media of billboards, print media, pamphlets and whatnot. And, we're seeing over this COVID period a lot of new brands and a lot of new companies that we're working with, which for us is, showing the market's still growing.
Yep. Now, you did say you're keeping a keen interest on footy at the moment as well, which is, that's a great multitask to be able to run a successful business and keep a good eye on football. But you're tweeting. I follow you on Twitter, and you are tweeting a lot at the moment.
I have been recently, yeah. Right into it.
And very vocal about the rising star. Would you have been a nomination yourself back in round 5 of 2012? I've taken a stab there. Did I get it right?
You did, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it might be round 6, round 5 or 6, one of that.
Yeah. But you weren't happy about, is it Riccardi from GWS who didn't get his nomination?
Yeah, it was a bit suspect. He had a very, very good game, but yeah, I understand that the rising star isn't based off just one game. It can be a combination of games that leads up to that performance. But yeah, I thought he could have had it last week, but good to see him get it, this week after another strong performance.
That's why you got your nomination, because your first year you were a Supercoach star. I think I had you in my team, and you made me bank, bro.
Well, I think the accurate word was cash cow. So people
Cash
would get me into the first team. As soon as I got value, they'd get me out and get another star into, or a star in.
Yeah. So Gorney's massive on Twitter. That's what I took from that, and
Yep.
he's an individual on that stuff. So we get that. We've just circling back to social media. We've decided we had Hamish Blake on early, and we're copying his model. We're trying to take this podcast beyond the realms of just the Melbourne sort of sphere.
Yep.
And it's great coincidence that we've got you in, Buggy, because you are the social media, as far as I'm concerned, the authority on social media. How on earth? And a few tips here would be nice, because we've got a little Instagram going. It's humble beginnings, but we need to take it essentially global.
We want to make bank in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, we want to be in Beverly Hills with our podcasting. So you got a few tips on a few prospective podcasters. How do we fire up the social side of things?
I think it's about the content, Gussie. I know the one podcaster I watch very heavily is Joe Rogan. I'm not sure if you guys watch, but he's got a very good system where they obviously post the podcast online, but they do snippets all through their social media. Ooh. So on Instagram, it's 30 or 45-second snippets of funny moments or something that's going to interact with the audience to get them engaged. So I think that, and then also discussing. I know Warnie, you're a big NRL fan, so or even sports over internationally, discussing topics like that, not just focused on kind of AFL.
So what you're saying is I should do a Tour de France update every day.
Exactly. I know you love that too.
I've got the onions. I've got the onions people of the world taken care of as well. I can bring that audience in.
What was that one, Gussie?
I can bring the onions audience into the listenership.
I thought that was a plug.
You obviously follow Barbie Onions.
I think I do.
Yeah.
I'm a keen supporter. If I don't, I will after this.
That's all right. We love onions, so that's a successful plug for the boys. So I've taken out. We're going to do some snippets. We've got a crack media team, so we can sort that out.
Yep. I've circled the word snippets as well.
Yeah. Diversify our content so that we appeal to more people. That's some pretty solid advice.
All right. One of our last questions, because we always follow up with some Melbourne related questions,
sure.
But. I want to take you back, Buggy, to when we were at Tall Timber Cafe. Tall Timber? It might have been Tall Timber. It might have been a different cafe. It was in East Bentley. And you were on Carlton's list. I was on Melbourne's list. And we were just catching up over a pre-season coffee. You telling me that you're dominating the time trials over at Carlton. Me saying that I'm dominating the Melbourne ones. And a lovely young waitress came over and interrupted our conversation and said, do you mind if I get a photo? And I humbly said,
okay, I guess.
I said, yes, it's fine, and got up to get ready to take a photo with her. And she said, along the lines of, no, are you able to take the photo? That's Shani Grimmon's boyfriend that I want a photo with. So here's me taking a photo of Tom Bugg and the waitress, not because of Tom Bugg, the GWS Melbourne Carlton player, but because of Tom Bugg, the social media 60,000 follower Shani Grimmon boyfriend. It was a phenomenal moment in my life. That
put Gorney right in his place.
Yeah, I think it was just great to just humble Gorney for a second.
Yeah.
I think he just come off the best and fairest on all Australian.
An all-Australian jacket. He's mentioned that a few times.
Good. But the good thing is there actually might be a role in content creation, Gorney, because you took a great photo that.
Thanks, mate. I'll take the feedback. Like I'm saying, I want to do anything I can to get on the books at Zuz Group. So if I can be the content creator, I'm more than happy to. If that makes me fly into LA 4 times a year, I can do that.
Now we
can sort something.
We like to ask some Melbourne-related questions to all the people we get on. So I guess of the 3 clubs you've been involved with, are you still a Melbourne supporter? Would you say a GWS supporter or other?
Everyone asks this question. It's really tough because I had so many great experiences at all clubs, and they were probably at different journeys of myself as a person. So Giants obviously gave me the opportunity. We're part of something really special. All went up there together, and we're all young and mates. So I was really, really grateful for that time in my life. And then now I'm also, involved with them I'm the chairman of the past players. So still kind of, on a level there where I can still interact with club. I can still interact with the players, the past players, sponsors and whatnot, just to create a good environment. Because one thing that Giants missed was, they didn't have any past players. So involved there. And then, Melbourne, for me, it was a short period. It was only 3 years, but I really feel like I developed my strong work ethic there. Another great network of the club. Met some really, really good people, and then overall it was just great to play at such a great club that had so much history. And then Carlton, again, super grateful for the opportunity, and was very committed when I first went to Carlton. It just obviously didn't work out. It changed, and I didn't feel like I was doing the right thing by staying there and only being half-hearted there. So but still, you know, it was a really special club. They welcomed me in. You know, they didn't really have to take me on board or give me an opportunity. So, you know, Sauce was there when I went there. So, and I was at the Giants as well. So we had a really strong relationship there. But you know, in regards to who I barracked for, it's a little bit tough. I think you guys versus Giants later on this year, so it'll be a little bit tough there to separate it. But I genuinely enjoy watching all the clubs and who I know really well at each club, and just seeing them do well.
Now, your favourite player at Giants is Cogs, which is self-explanatory. But your favourite player at Demonland still?
There's actually a bit of controversy at the Giants one because Toby, I love watching Toby play. I think he's a very special player.
I do as well.
He impacts. I just love watching him. But yeah, I don't tell Cogs that I said. Contention. At Melbourne, Gorney, I love watching you play, Gorney. I think you work hard. I think it's probably a tie between you and Track.
Yeah, Track's on fire.
Track is special to watch. He's
really
a lot more exciting than yourself, Angus.
I'm a blue chip stock. I get your returns every year. You know what you're going to get. Track's really exploded this year, which is good to see. He's been a long time coming, so it's good to see him up and going.
All right, we've taken enough of your time. I do want to finish on. I am truly excited about where you've got to in your life and your career, and the amount of hard work you put into football and then transition that straight into business life is actually really inspiring. So I'm glad to be able to still call you a friend, and so is Angus, and thanks for giving us a bit of time on the podcast.
No, anytime, guys. Thanks so much, and thanks, Gorney, for the kind words. Looking forward to seeing how you guys go for the rest of the year as well.
Good man.
Create some headaches for other teams.
Yeah, cheers, Buggy. Thanks for the time, mate, and thanks for the chat. It's been unreal.
Enjoy, boys. Talk soon.
See you, mate. That was our favourite segment, and one of our favourite past players in Tom Bugg. Gave a lot when he was at the club, won a lot of time trials, played a lot of good footy, worked hard through adversity, obviously had a lot of adversity, especially at Melbourne, with some incidences and incidences?
That's a word.
Am I wanting incidents?
No, if the plural of incidents is incidences.
Is it really?
It's not incidences.
So I stumbled on the correct word.
Could be incidences. Or the word check that.
Okay. Indecencies? No.
Incidents. Indecence is a complete. You don't want. It's completely different.
We'll stay away from that.
We're not going back there again.
Okay. So we're just going to try call someone just quickly. I think this could be a running segment going forward.
We'll see how this goes. This is very much a We're just going to see how it goes. This could very well. No one could hear this potentially. If this falls flat, then so be it. We're going to give the big porterhouse Oscar McDonald a call.
Yep.
And
hopefully he gives us something. We're just going to ask him.
We don't know what. Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully it's good stuff. So here we go.
It is our media manager ringing, so that might be.
That could dissuade him from answering. It could be an Insta screen.
If he doesn't pick up, that's poor. He's screening the media manager.
Hello, you have called Oscar. Please leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks.
Hi, Oscar. Angus and Max here from the Captain's Run.
Your favourite podcast.
Your favourite podcast. We're going to try calling you every single podcast until you pick up to give us a joke. Yeah. So get one ready for next week.
Or something, or anything. We just need something from you. So look forward to hearing from you, and I guess that's really it.
Thanks, Oscar.
Thanks, mate.
And yeah, that's episode 9. Short and sharp this week.
Yep, it was good. I'd say it was a good one. Buggy was unreal. I think we always sort of knew getting a social media savant on, expert, was going to do well on a social
we're going to grow.
Platform. I'm looking forward to growing.
Yep, snippets.
I'm looking forward to stamping out crime.
Yep.
And I'm just wondering what else we've done. Looking forward to Lingers giving us some more gold and
Benny Gibson giving something.
Finally giving something. So it's been a good week.
Beautiful.
Good stuff.
See you next week.
Will do.